Hello. That is my remix of Warhorns by Forseti. Screen just went off. It's back on. Okay. So yeah, today I'm going to be breaking down a remix I did of Mr. Forseti's track Warhorns. It came out like a few months ago, I think. Yeah. I'll leave a link to this playlist so you can check out the rest of these too. I also did a remix of Errands by Specs and Solstice by Void Chaser. Those were pretty fun projects. I'll probably do another stream where I break those down as well. I just know that this one is the easiest one to break down, so I'm going to start with this one. Just because I didn't really... There wasn't a lot of stuff I added in that wasn't from like the project, or wasn't a lot of synths going on, so like... basically just not as much that's likely to be broken right now. So yeah, we'll start with that. And I actually use this tool called lalal.ai to separate the stems for his track. So I just bought it on Bandcamp or some, I think it was Amazon, and then downloaded the MP3, and then I put it into this, and then just took the files and started messing with it. So yeah, I should start into the project file and start breaking it down. And yeah, Lalal is pretty good. They just got a new AI model, so anything that you might pull out of there will probably be better than what I got here. Basically what I did was just have it split the drums, no drums, and then the bass, just so I could start pulling out different stuff. I think I mostly use the no drum one just because that makes most sense. You can hear like side chaining and everything, but it's pretty clean. Yeah, I was pretty impressed with that. And then here's the bass. Yeah, it's pretty sick. So I took that, and I don't think I have the original thing I did, do I? I don't believe I do. So yeah, let me just start with the main thing that I pulled from the track first, which would be this little loop. Oh, that's the drums. Sorry about that. Where's it at? This. So yeah, that actually came from, I think, this part of, like... There's one of these pieces where, like, I think it actually was just, like, one of these. There's one of these main pieces without any side chaining going on. And what I did was I just like, I can probably do it right now actually, just like took it. I think I just grabbed it, control-ed it, and then let's put on warp. Let's bring onto this one playthrough mode. Okay. But we actually want that to be like, I think it was 16th. And I think it times it by 2. Okay, and I think it basically had something like that. And then I created a new track. Just put it down there, and I let that go into, just froze it basically. And then rendered it out. There. See, now we have all these going on. And then what I believe I did is I have the texture, yeah. You know what? I did this backwards, actually. I did the steps backwards. I did this thing I'm about to do before I did this. Let me fix that. Okay, maybe I didn't do that yet. God, what the hell did I do? I know that I did something along the lines of changing the grain size and then doing the once play mode, but it was like chopped up on the ace. God, that was so a while ago. Yeah. What the hell, man? There's something I did. I don't know how I'm not doing it right now. But yeah, that made this interesting sound where it sounds like it's falling into itself. It's basically just like a little bit of it that's extended out. I'm just playing like 2 chords. And then the difference in it is me changing that one of those settings on like the grain or something. And it just sounds like it's kind of waving over itself. I found that very relaxing and like it just pulled me into a trance, I guess. And then from there, I guess I needed something to like kind of bring more momentum as well. So we just have these, which are going into basically something for dynamics, another dynamics thing again once it goes low high passed, and then into this reverb for delay. Yeah. Yeah, it is a delay, isn't it? Just a regular delay. Or is it stereo delay? I don't know. I'm all turning around today. And then that's going into an autopan. And I really like this Dynamics plugin. It's called Steck. It's free, and it helped me a lot on my other computer that I had for a little bit. Because I didn't really have any plugins or anything, so it's working out of the box, just from Ableton, and I worked on this track. Oh, I didn't even break down this part. Yeah. So before anything goes through anything, any effects are in, this just sounds like this. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . And this is fine at first, but I wanted to pop through the track as I started adding different elements, which led to me being there. It's just an OTT, an auto filter, stack again, it's like a reverb, an EQ to take away some of the lows and boost some of the highs, and then I guess I am automating these. And I saw a thing a while ago that like if you just put EQ3s in a chain together, they'll start splitting up the frequencies and changing the way that it like processes a sound and basically makes it sound more analog. It changes the frequency ranges in a weird way. That changes something. I don't know if I necessarily believe that. I guess it does sound a little bit more like sticky. Like the transients feel kind of gluey, like they stick. I don't know if that makes any sense, but like the highs on it, it kind of it mushes out more rather than has like a quick transient to it. I guess that's sort of the effect people are going for. And then we have an infinity EQ. I wanted to punch up the mids for some reason. And then that's going into ROM. Pretty simple stuff for that one. So yeah, we got these two elements basically working together to start momentum in the track. Let's see what the drums are doing. Oh yeah, that's right. So I have this going on in the background. And I put this in because I felt like it was a little too, like, not as distorted or like as much club energy as, like, say, the original did. Because forseti's track is like more of a techno driving sort of continuous thing. You really just you want to be with the be in the flow of the kicks the whole entire time. And I wanted that energy here, so this is ducking under the drums every time. Just a little bit. Like it pokes through the sides and just you feel it more than anything. It's mostly there to get out of the way and kind of complement the other sounds. Okay, and then we have this. This is a pluck I made from... What is this? This must be something I just like I rendered out from this or something. I probably did. It sounds like it came from this that I made. Or maybe it came straight from the WAV file. That's also possible. This is like something I just chopped up, and I wanted like a side pluck going on to add more of a rhythm to it. Yeah, it starts off pretty light. Basically just being EQ'd in. And that is going through an infinity EQ, which is taking away the lows, squashing the highs a little bit, and putting most of the emphasis on like the low mids to the sort of mids, but that's even being cut off a little bit. I guess I really wanted that presence in lieu of like a bass, because I don't have a bass going on here yet. Yeah, I wanted some kind of like lower mid rhythmic thing going on. But I think that's why I have this going. Also just because I like the sound of it. Okay, and then that's being run through Stack. Just being boosted on the AO. I don't know necessarily what the AO is. I'm assuming it's all frequencies that are just being pushed up. I don't know. I don't necessarily know how it processes the dynamics, so I can't really speak to that. But yeah. I have the mids pretty low for some reason. And then the highs are going up and the lows are going up. Just so I can boost those again for some reason. And then I'm getting rid of the lows. What the hell was I thinking? That's why I did that. Okay. Yeah, I wanted that real crunchy sound to come through. Oh, and that's automated as well. Okay. So we have that EQ going on, boosting around 200 again. And then that is running into Slate Digital FGX. One of my favorite sort of like overall encompassing sort of like just a main compressor I use to smush things together, just to make it so it really just feels more clear than anything else I use. I don't know how to describe it. Like, this sounds okay. And then that adds just so much more saturation, but it doesn't sound bad. And I know that it'll get out of the way of the drums in a good way. Okay, and then that is going into this delay. That's later though. I think that's part of a transition to the track again. To another drop, I mean. We'll get to that when we get to that. Okay, and so I think that's the main elements so far without the drums. And then the drums are just pulled directly from the track, I think. So I had this 2-channel kick thing. Just kicks straight from the track. One is being pulled back this shortened, like halfway, I guess. And then the next one, yeah. This one is pitched up an octave, and it's being shortened by quite a bit. No real fancy processing here besides the higher part of the kick. Mainly because I think I just wanted it to poke through a little more. Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't hitting quite the way I wanted it to, so I had to just add a little more. And this is, what is this? I think this is, yeah, it's a drum bus. Just one of the defaults in here. Pretty easy. Okay, and see here? We have this pattern that comes in, which is just part of Ableton's, like, they have these grooves here that you can pull in and use. I don't think I changed this one at all. I just like the flow of it. Oh, and this is one of my favorite elements, actually. This is the, these are drums. I mean, the kicks. These are these kicks up here. I just like, I just like chopped it up higher. So just like that. And yeah, just made sure it timed out properly. And then they're being shortened about halfway. And then, let's see here. Wow, okay, there's all here. So we have that first one into an OTT. Let me just go ahead and just like turn everything off real quick. And we'll go through one by one. That's not what I meant. Okay, so without any processing, it sounds like this. I must have put it up an octave before I shortened it. And that's fine. And then that's going into an OTT. Just so I could boost it up. And then that's going into an envelope follower, which is scale. Oh, great. And then that is going into an EQ8, and I just put it onto the scale feature, which is this little button here on the EQ8. EQ8. I don't know why I'm not saying that right. It's kind of blending my words together. Yeah, scale basically just like changes the whole entire frequency based on what you chose. It'll just amplify it based on what you already have it set to. Really useful and neat. I think I use it because let's see. Yeah. I wanted the OTT to be more snappy. And I didn't have a transient shaper on the other computer I was using. So this is the way I worked around that. And then that's going into a phaser. Just doing phaser stuff, really. And then that's going into a shifter. And that's doing most of the work so far of like doing that main effect. And it's just going down that much. I think it does the same every time. Yeah, it does. And then that is going into another OGT. Basically just getting rid of the lows and basically just tempering the mids and then upping the highs, I think, is what it looks like. And then that is going into an LFO, which is changing the track volume for some reason. And the amount is something. Oh, the amount of this auto pan up here. I don't know why I had to change in the track volume. That's a mystery to me, actually. Okay, and then that is going to Shep's parallel particles. This is another saturator and like mastering adjacent plugin I use every now and then. Or dynamics, really. Basically just thickening it up and adding some more highs to it without like blowing it out. Because this has been processed pretty heavily so far. Okay. And then that is going into this auto pan. Sounds pretty good. And then that is going into this reverb, I think. Yep. And then that is just being bypassed. I really like the way it turned out because it pops through the track and also, I don't know, it kind of blends with the wavy sort of like evolving feeling of these main plucks that are going on. They kind of follow the same trajectory, which really helps the momentum of this track, I think. Yeah, and so far, that all sounds like this. And then here is the next part of the drum groove. This is just another groove pattern I pulled from the Ableton library. I don't think it changed a lot about this, to be honest. I think I removed some drums. Like, there's that. And that I took away. That's a very long snare. And yeah, it was a little more complicated beforehand, but I knew I just wanted a few extra elements to pop in the track. It might have been like a different pattern on this part and I just copied it over. I don't know. Yeah, that is that. It's a tom clap snare. This whip thing that I like a lot. I don't know what it is, but I feel like it adds a lot of character. It sounds like a little voice. Yeah. And that just keeps building, layering on top of itself, just letting you sink into that sort of groove. And then this comes in. It's almost like a reverse of a riser, but also not. Like a downer, but a mix of both. Because it starts off high energy, but it's not. You can't hear as much. But the great thing about this is it gets masked by the track, so it just sounds like this noise that's swirling in. And then it bleeds directly into the breakdown part. Well, this mid breakdown, not the actual breakdown. And it really works, I think. Because it gets out of the way of everything else. Like it just barely pokes through the track, and that works a lot for it. Let's see what it actually sounds like. So I think it's just like this main pluck over here that I had going on. I just took one of those and just fed into here, and then that's going through this arpeggiator, which is going from like a really high rates of from 10 milliseconds playing all the way down to 125 to 290, to where it's like being separated enough to where there's space between everything. And then that's going through this auto panner, which has the amount and the phase going down just so it going up, so that way I can start panning more and going out of phase a little bit. So it feels like it's going, like it's right there in front of you, and then it starts swirling around your head a little bit. And then that is going into this reverb. I don't remember. Is this a convolution? Yeah, it is. It's a convolution reverb. That's just some Ableton. And then I'm automating the decay, the size, and the wetness. Just so like it's the more reverb like a high like constant sound has, the more it'll sound like white noise or something. And so I wanted to blend that white noise sort of sound, just come rising up, and then we can start pulling that back once it starts going at a normal, well, not normal, but a more reasonable pace to where you can hear each single part more. And then I can start playing with it into the panning and pull back the reverb completely, so that way you actually hear it, not just the noise of the imagined sort of room. And then that is going into an EQ3, because I thought that would help. Oh, never mind. The gains are being reduced on the low end. At 155. I don't know why I didn't see that. You know why? I'm dumb. Alright, so that is that. I think I covered everything so far. Certainly seems like it did. It's not a lot going on at this point. And then we go drop into this. And that's obviously from the main track that you were hearing earlier, of just these big chords going on. These big old chonkers over here. And that sounds great. But I wanted to just like create this bigger atmosphere with it. Just add more distortion and pull the moment longer, so that way I can sort of play off of that and build on it in an ambient sort of way. And so I think this first one is something along those lines. Yeah, so this one is just right here. The texture has been warped. When the warp is on, and the texture, yeah, I guess I got that right. And it's being, the grain size is 52 with no flex. And I think I pulled it out a little bit. Maybe I doubled it. I probably did. And then that is being processed through an autofilter, this glue compressor just to make it more loud. And then that is being run into an amp so I can get extra distortion. I see what this is doing here. Yeah. I don't know why the distortion went up there, but I do. And then that's going into another stack dynamics thing. And I'm using that to control the low gain a lot because I wanted this main part to have like a real boomy, like right in your face bass. I think that helped a lot. As you can probably hear. And then that is going into a reverb. And then an EQ8 where we're just boosting around 3000 and the lows. And yeah. That is this is the big main bassy part of it. And then we have the second layer, which is this. And with this, I needed a higher grain size so it sounded more coherent. With the bass, I basically needed something to where I could just really... I felt like the grain size was just right for the bass to poke through. But this is really sort of masking that by introducing all this distortion and just kind of covering up the upper frequencies, because you could hear the sort of like... You could hear that the artifacts of me pulling the sound, just warping it. And I didn't want that. Okay, and that's being very briefly auto-filtered, just so it gradually rises up. So it's not like all in your face with the distortion. And then that goes down a little bit. Because this main part is like, when this peak right here is like, when it transfers into the actual one over here. I'll show you that one in a second. But that's like the unprocessed version of these two. Like these two are extending the moment of that first like impact of those chords he has going on. And I really wanted it to be this real momentous, huge sort of like in your face sort of thing. And then it'll be smoothed out by the original chord stack he has going on. Okay, and so this one kind of has the same sort of processing as this one. The stack, distortion, the glue compressor, and then there's EQ8. I think this one's automated the same as the stack is over there. Yeah. Okay. Fucking tired, am I? Yeah, it's basically just cutting it off and then opening up to those high frequencies and then just bringing it back down a little bit. And then that's going into a reverb. which is also helping to get the sound out of the way for these main chords over here. Because this high distortion will clash with the main chords that are playing directly after this little automation change. And yeah, that is actually being sidechained as well by this main chord stack over here. We should just play that now. So yeah, that one's not being processed a ton, it's just going into stack where it's just being boosted on the lows and the highs a little bit. And then that's having the lows chopped off since the lows are already handled over here. Yeah, like I really just wanted to transition from the extended sort of bass had going on into the normal chords. Whoa. Yeah, and that works like that. And this one actually works in conjunction with these two, since they're so distorted. I need something to sort of even out the sound, so that way, like, it smooths it out, gets rid of all the artifacting even more, distortion a little more, so that way it blends into this main chord stack as well, as you can hear. And that is also being sidechained by this main chord stack over here. And that has the same sort of processing as the other stuff. Just a auto filter, stack, an EQ8, which is boosting the highs, getting rid of the lows, and some reverb. As well as the stereo automation. Interesting. I have it going from wider to being more centered as it progresses. I don't know why I did that. I'm assuming because if it's wider, it'll poke through more at the beginning of the sound, and then it needs to conjoin with the main chord stack as it gets more in the mids. In the middle of the stereo field, I mean. That's probably why I did that. Yeah. It turns into this. And that really just creates a lot of atmosphere as well to just go directly into the beat again. That is also being processed by Soothe. I'm sure there's a lot of like stuff going on. I had to kind of squash with that. Yeah, that's definitely what that's doing. Okay, that's that breakdown section here, and this is going under it as well. And that is just kind of being pushed out of the way as it gets a higher reverb mix. So, yeah. Kind of helps to just go into the same sort of ambience as this does. And then that goes directly back into the beats. And at this point, I introduced some new elements, some more synthy elements. This is just one of his chord stacks, I believe, again. And that is also being chopped up on the 16 beat by quite a bit. And then that is opening up with the auto filter. You can see automation for that. Just kind of sweeping up and down, just as it saw fit. I think it's going along with this. No? Where's that going? Nowhere. I think I had another thing going on. Or, no. I'm looking at the wrong thing. Yeah, it gets louder over here, but we're not over there yet. And yeah, so it's been saturated. Need an auto filter to give it more motion. And then it's going into sticks dynamics. We can get rid of this. And then another thing to squash the dynamics a little more. As you can see, you can just see I was really trying to push the highs up and to squash the highs down a little more. Like, boost the highs and then squash the highs down so that way it's all this one chunky sound. It's kind of like, it's like mushing out dough and then squishing the dough back together so that way it's all like conjoined. I don't know if that makes any sense. It's just the way my brain is putting that sentence together for some reason. And then that is going into utility, which I have just gaining up a little bit. Wasn't loud enough for some reason. And then that's going to soothe and being reverbed by ROM. Pretty simple. But it adds a lot because it's just, I don't know, just feels right. And then we have these sub sort of distorted bass things going on. I think this is also coming from the chord stack. God, I pulled from that a lot. Yeah, it sure is. Just took from that first little bit and aligned it with this sub I have. Which is just an operator synth, an OTT, and a limiter. The OTT is just boosting the lows. And this is just being distorted as well. Oh, it has some filtering going on. As you can see there. It's like I'm just bringing these down a little bit. And then this one, I want opening up a lot. That's been squashed by glue compressor and Steck. Really pushing out the distortion and sort of the compression in the highs. And then that's going into reverb. And this EQ8, which is really pushing up the highs, the lows on that. I guess at this point I thought that this has been the main bass, but there's obviously the sub I needed to put in there. And it's like I'm getting rid of the mids and just raising the highs right above that a little bit. And the utility right here is just squishing in the stereo field. just so it's not so wide and get out of the way of other things going on prior to the drums. And that's been put through a limiter. And then this envelope follower is just going to the gain on... Yeah, where is that going? Oh, over here. Right? I don't know. I would say yes, but I don't see anything moving. That's strange. Maybe it's not doing anything. Maybe it's over here. No? It's not. Well, I don't know where that routes to. I don't think it does anything, to be honest with you. Well, regardless, I'm boosting up the highs a bit more. While trying to get rid of some distortion. I guess it was in the mids and kind of this little peak area over here. While also boosting the highs a lot. And then that's going into this glue compressor. Just to help tame what I did here, because the EQ just made it all probably wonky sounding. And then that's going to soothe, which is helping with that even more. And then a supercharger, I'm just plugging from Native Instruments, which is like for bass control. So I just use that every once in a while. It's not doing a lot here. It's on the punch and dirt settings, which I feel like adds a bit more of a grimy feel to bass sounds. And then getting rid of all the bass peaking that was over here, I have it being cut off over here. And just sort of raising the highs even more, because I didn't feel like that was doing enough, I guess. But that's okay. I did that after I got this sub in here, so that helped a lot. Yeah, it really just sounds like a real central sort of sound, which is what I wanted. But I didn't want anything too in your face or too overly distorted either, since it's sort of needs to fit into this grimy sort of feel, along with this bass that just came in, this super distorted chord stack he has that came in, and I don't know, it just helped make the track flow a lot more. And that makes the track sound like this. And I saw these plucks kind of ducking out of the way of that sub bass thing. Probably just because I felt like the sub bass could get as much space as it could use as much space as it could get. I think it's a little bit louder than the track I exported. I don't know why. It sounds a little quieter in the project file to me for some reason. I don't know what that's about. And then, I have these kind of just playing over again. Okay. I'm kind of trying to reverse engineer what I just did here. So it looks like I got rid of the distortion. The dry is down. And then it's just playing with the reverb and just being panned a lot, just playing the same tails of these chords. I guess I need something to sort of transition into the breakdown, so that works a lot, since it was just over here, kind of fits in. It's kind of weird to try and figure out what I did before. It's weird how I just use the tail of this chord stack to make like basically a few sweeps into the breakdown. I don't know how I thought of that, but I did. I guess I just knew that what would be poking through would mostly be noise, so it would just sound like a white noise. Okay, and so we have this main breakdown, which this main part that plays immediately is just kind of a reverse section. Yeah, it's a reverse section of this track that has some effects going over it. Let's go to those. I think this is the main WAV file I pulled from. No, that's alright. It doesn't matter since it wasn't processed. Is there drums? There might be drums actually, now that I think about it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, he has some percussion that starts rising up. You can kind of hear it a little bit, but not really. Yeah, I'm basically using his riser and sort of what he has like in the middle, kind of backwards. I don't know, I just thought that would work. I think it did. And then that's going into this, which is basically just some extra delay, just to sort of play with that sort of upper noisy sound. Oh, I did it backwards. Okay, and then that is being EQ'd high passed. There we go, that sounds more right. And then I think I just use a grain delay, right? No? No, it's a spectral time thing. Yeah. I don't use this too often, but I like the way it sounds in this. And it really helps at the end to sort of blend it out. It also harmonizes really well with what I have going on. I don't know, it works really well. Because it kind of acts as a riser as well. Just kind of brings the energy up. Really interesting. I should learn how to use that more. And then that is going into another reverb. Just because like, I probably felt like this is too in your face and I needed some other elements to come in, and this is just going to be in the mix, too forward in the mix. So that just, the reverb just pushes it back, especially in the beginning, and then as this pitch trail takes over, I wanted it to be a little more loose. Alright, and now we have this melody here that I wrote just out of a flute pad out of Serum. I don't remember where I got this. It was like Splice. Well, it sounds like this. Very pretty. But that is just playing these low notes. And I basically just went to the chord stack he has here going on, and I just looked at the EQ, the spectrum EQ, and just kind of looked at the notes that were playing just based on the peaks, and just saw those notes and just kind of did a little melody based off what I saw was there, present. Yeah, and then this is the other. The same melody, just up an octave, I think. And then we have this playing. I think that this is just a Warhorn sound I pulled from Splice. Let me see here. Yeah, it must be. Yeah, I think so. I just need something else to harmonize in here and kind of get the sort of ambience going. And it worked pretty well. I just had the transient shaper probably just to cut the sharp peaks, get those out of the way. Get rid of the lows and boost the highs on the EQ over here. Down here. And then a reverb to just kind of set it in a space. I like this this one called Glow Curtain. Feels pretty good. On the synthy sort of atmospheric stuff. And then these both lead directly into the same thing I have going on from earlier. And these have the same thing going on as earlier, just without the bass, without the extra distortion. So it feels much smoother. I think this one's the same. Yeah, just basically playing the same thing. And I think these work really well with everything we have going on. I'll just play through that until this point right here. Okay, and then at that point I have this start rising up. Yeah, just on the volume, I think. I don't think I did much anything else. Probably the reverb, actually. Yeah. Just the reverb and the volume to start pushing it up to the mix. And then at this point, I have this start poking up as well. Kind of just to act as like a percussion riser sort of thing. And as being on a dotted eighth note with the delay. So just kind of changes up the rhythm of it and has a bit more energy. And then there's also this extra melody. I basically wanted something like this other flute over here, but I needed it to play a bit faster, but this one has like all these effects going on that I couldn't really do that. So this one really just helped do that. I felt like I just needed something to kind of be as like an ARP without being an ARP. And something more soft that it can just kind of flow under the beat as well. But yeah, that from Serum is going into this filter a lot. I mean, if this filter I like a lot, called Filter Mini. It was called Mini Filter, and then for some reason they changed it, and now I have this. Just go ahead and cut off right there. You can see the automation. And then I'm getting rid of the lows and the mids. And then that is going into Portal on this one called Warble Glitch. I think I just chose a random effect to start using. And then that's going into a saturator or reverb, and then a soothe to sort of balance it out. I guess it was peaking in the 800 range. And then that is being high passed again. Yeah, and then it flows into the beat like this. And then I needed another sort of ARP-y thing to go along with this softer ARP, because it just didn't feel right. As well as, it's sort of a callback to the original track, where he has this sort of ARP-y thing come in. Yeah, it kind of just bounces around the mix. Feels pretty good. And so I made this as sort of like a callback to that. I think this is also the same, pulling from the same sound as everything else. Yeah, and it just creates this sort of groove that bounces around from side to side. This is what it sounds like without anything on it. Okay, and so starting off here, I just put it through an OTT. I wanted those lows to pop up. And then an EQ8. It's like, That's later. I think when I transition it to a different section, I want it to not be as in your face, or be a different part of the chords to pop through or something. It just felt better. And then that is going into this delay called groove, which I think does most of the work for this. Yeah, it does. And then that is going into this tilde. We're just monoing the bass around 110. And then it is going into this. Yeah, redo that. What even is this thing called? Erosion? Yeah, it's going into erosion on this preset. I really need something to sort of saturate the higher sounds and make it pop through the mix more, because this wasn't really working. And that helps a lot. And then it's going through an EQ8, just to sort of temper the low sub sounds, because we would have some other sub stuff going on, and I don't want this to be the main thing that's popping through the mix. And then that is going through reverb, which comes into play later. Yeah, I have a random utility for some reason. I don't know what that's therefore. And then I have this compressor called Renaissance, which is usually for vocals, but I don't know, I guess I just wanted it to sit at the top threshold mark, because it was peeking out a little bit, and I like the way this squashes stuff down just a little bit, because it's good. It's meant for vocals. It's not supposed to like really push the sound. It's just sort of slowly push the sound down a little bit. Yeah, that's that. Ah, that's why. I needed more of an octave sound, so I pushed up this over here. Instead of focusing on that lower mid sort of sound, I wanted the highs of the chord to stick out more. And I'm just using the reverb to just sort of fade out the sound so I can transition out of the song, I think. And yeah, that's that. Yeah, in conjunction, all that together, I just went over, it sounds like this. And then, yeah, I brought in this sound again. It sounds the same as before. I just extended it longer. I think I literally just warped it out, just pulled it like this. So I can just sort of... basically. And that is going... oh. The filtering isn't too crazy on this. I guess I wanted it to just be more in your face on this part. Since it is like the second drop, it has to have a little more energy. I like this little thing I did. That little stab. There's not a lot going on here. It just plays really quickly. It just adds a different sort of energy and kind of, I don't know, does something a little different. And I basically just need to figure out a way to transition out of the track. So just like, because I have this very high energy part, and then I needed it to kind of go back to a more simpler version of it. It's all the same elements as before, it's just these being cut up a little more. Oh, that's the wrong thing. This guy. It looks like what I did was consolidated these and I just made it play differently. Like I just consolidated this loop and then just duplicated it over there. I think I just stumbled upon that. Didn't even really mean to do that. That's always nice. Yeah. And then these plucks are sort of brought back up. They're kind of sitting in the same place they were before in the mix. This just acting as a sweep again. These are being transitioned out. I think this is the part we can mostly hear this. Sort of techno rumble sound that's been playing in the background the whole track. Yeah, I think it works pretty well. Although I am biased. Just a little bit. Yeah, it's pretty much the whole track. I guess I didn't break down this techno rumble sort of sound. I'll do that real quick. And then we'll be done. So this is just the kicks, I think. Just like I duplicated the kick and just kind of put it right here. And then just consolidated the loop of that. Because that's not what it normally looks like either. And then that is run into this. Oh, that's everything. Just a reverb with just a small feeling reverb, so it's not too far away, but you can still hear it. And then I wanted the lows of that, just so you're sort of feeling it. This feels like it's a club in a different room playing, you know. And then I wanted that to be closer, so it sounds like you're right on the fucking door of that thing. And then I added an erosion. And then just add a lot of more ambience. That's obviously a little too much though. So like, I don't have that on. That is strange. Did I have that on earlier? Yeah, I did. Okay, so there's a difference between the beginning of the track and the ending sort of the track. So the second drop and out can be a bit rougher and harder and just like more of a driving sort of sound, while the beginning has to be a bit softer. But in the beginning it sounds a bit different. Yeah, it's much more in your face towards the end. And then that is being sidechained. No, that's not anything. From the 7 group, which I think is just the drums. The kick, actually. It's just a kick. And then the lows have been chopped off. It's mostly just a sub. And that just goes under everything else. It's not something you necessarily hear a lot, but you feel it in the track. Because when it's not there, it just kind of feels more... I think it adds a sort of boominess, and like the erosion distortion kind of helps glue everything together a little more. Sounds a little too clean. Yeah, this is an 8-minute track. I think Forseti's was about that length. You should check out Forseti's track as well, the original. Don't notice that. Yeah. I think I left a link to it. Right here. Yeah. It's released on World True Records, him and Villager's imprint. Pretty sick stuff. I'll leave a link in the comment, the first comment below, to my remix, his track, and then to Lalal, which made this all work. Because without me being able to split that stuff together, I don't think I would have been able to like feel more confident taking this on, even if I did pull from the main chord stack mostly. Alrighty. Do I need to say anything else? I don't think so. I do want to stream another one of these breakdowns later. Not today, but at some point in the future. Because I have 2 other remixes I did, and I might as well talk about them. Right? Yeah, this is the most simple one so far. It was all pretty much in the box for the most part until I brought it to this computer, and then I started mixing it a little more. But yeah, go stream the track. I gotta go do something else.